A very good evening and a warm welcome to our first edition of UBC News Tonight on this 27th day of November 2025. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. Before we delve into tonight's news bulletin, let's first take a look at the top stories tonight. In our top stories tonight, President Museveni pledges to establish an industrial park in Ankole. General Muntu rallies support in Butebo and Budaka districts. Prime Minister Nabanja launches her campaigns in Kakumiro. And UETCL reinstall vandalized power tower in Mukono. A very good evening once again. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. We start off this bulletin with our top story tonight. The National Resistance Movement NRM presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni on Thursday presented his manifesto to residents of Ntungamo, the home district of the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni. Museveni pledged to enhance and establish a new health facility, schools and roads in sub-counties and parishes where such infrastructure is still lacking. He also encouraged the people of Ntungamo to embrace commercial agriculture as a pathway to poverty eradication and as a source of employment for the unemployed. We have the details.
A multitude of supporters of the National Resistance Movement thronged Chamate Primary School playground in Ntungamo district to welcome and listen to the party manifesto presented by the presidential candidate Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, accompanied by the First Lady Janet Kataha Museveni. Established in 1993, Ntungamo became the home district of the First Lady Kataha Museveni, who serves as the NRM chairperson for the district.
On behalf of the people of Ntungamo, I say welcome to you at home, your home district.
In her report as NRM chairperson, she highlighted advancements in nutrition, attributing the improvement to increased food production facilitated by effective utilization of government poverty alleviation programs such as EMIOGA and Paris Development Model.
The increased population in the district is on account of peace, improved health services, and nutrition, as well as general improvement in the quality of life of the households.
She further enumerated the enhancements in health and education services as well as improvement in the road network.
The NRM government has been able to deliver education services such as universal primary education in 242 public primary schools, public secondary education in 22 secondary schools, and technical vocational training through 3 tertiary institutions at Ntungamo Health Training Institute, Chibatsi, and Ihunga Technical Institutes.
In his address delivered in the local Runyankole language, Museveni commenced the campaigns by outlining the achievements of the NRM, including peace, roads, electricity, schools, and health facilities.
NRM nhanga akozesa NRM kuleta obusinge mu Uganda. Mbwene ni tafari na mbemwe. NRM etera hanju ya Uganda betu ntusimaranga okutereza amana ago tugeitu.
Museveni committed to tarmacking the remaining business roads and upgrading and equipping health facilities and schools in sub-counties and parishes that currently lack them.
Enguto ya korasi okuruga Kampala kuza Kabale hatugikoze emirundi nk'eshatu nitugigarukamu nerabaha twatayo enguuto erikuza Rukungiri twagendegeza yahika Kanungu yahika Ishasha ate ekicweka eki ekyantungamo Rukungiri enguuto egi ekuzire nibaza kugigarukamu.
Mr. President encouraged the residents of Ntungamo to adopt commercial agriculture and use of irrigation schemes as a means to eradicate poverty and provide employment opportunities for the unemployed.
Kwongeresha empango ombya amaizi okongera amaizi agokunywa ntwenda n'amaizi agokushikyerera ebihingirwe okushikera ebihingirwe kandi okatamu orwezo nosharura kihango okukira okutegereza enjura kwonka.
The NRM leaders in Ntungamo praised the NRM government for transforming the district through wealth creation programs and improved road network and electricity.
Before, moving from Ntungamo to Kampala used to be a 3-day journey in a UTC bus. Now it is just a 5-hour journey. That's a tremendous gain.
Yeah, example of good roads I'm talking about, it is like this one from Ntungamo to Kabare. This is a tarmac. Even the ones, the feeder roads, they are somehow okay.
Just look at the canopy of wherever you go in Ntungamo. There are no more grass-thatched houses.
We are working on the water. The schools are there, the hospitals are there.
They urged the NRM government to enhance access to clean water and establish an industrial park to create jobs for youth and facilitate value addition.
We are also going to look for the president to give us an industrial hub so that we attract other investors to come and invest in our area.
Ntungamo is a water scarce area. It has a problem of water, all the parts.
The wife of the prominent opposition leader Robert Chagulani hails from Ntungamo. However, the leaders expressed confidence that NRM votes will not be divided between the two presidential candidates, NRM and NUP.
No, I doubt the Chagulani will get votes here because even for me, I'm a neighbor to them. I always tell them this is not their time. People are still they love Museveni. And the mobilization we have made this time, for example, like my constituency in Rushenyi, we shall make sure we get 90% from 70.
Tomorrow, on Friday, the NRM presidential candidate will present his manifesto to the people of Kazo and Chiruhura, where Museveni originates from. Philip Aguta for UBC News in Ntungamo.
Government's service delivery in Greater Ankolia is under scrutiny as new data highlights progress and gaps. Now taking a look at Ntungamo, with over 552,000 residents, report improved electrification, water access and broad beneficiary reach under economic programs, though health infrastructure gaps still persist. Take a look.
Ntungamo district comprises 34 sub-counties and town councils, including the municipality, 135 parishes and 1,035 villages. The 2024 census places the district population at 552,786. The district has cumulatively received shillings 46.12 billion, with shillings 38.7 billion disbursed to 38,693 households. Ntungamo municipality has separately received shillings 2.1 billion, of which shillings 1.8 billion has reached 1,801 households. Under Emioga, Ntungamo district and municipality host 88 SACCOs with 21,903 members, receiving shillings 3.83 billion. Concerning the education sector, The district has 242 government primary schools and 327 private primary schools, alongside 21 government secondary schools and 71 private secondary schools. As regards the health sector, of the 34 sub-counties, 1 has a hospital, 4 have health center 4s, and 23 have health center 3s. About the water sector, out of 1,033 villages, 646 have access to safe water, representing 63% coverage.
Now, the NRM presidential candidate, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has announced at a presidential rally in the Isingiro district that his government will establish an industrial park in the Ankole sub-region in his next term of office, a move he says will create more jobs and opportunities for the area.
Time check was 8 a.m. Hundreds of NRM supporters had started flocking Isingiro district headquarters grounds.
But now, as PRU, we are trying to sensitize youth to love their country. That's why we talk about patriotism. People must love their country.
The mammoth crowd clad in party yellow colors were joined by the preferred presidential candidates of the ruling NRM party, incumbent President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who is on a countrywide tour seeking for victory ahead of the 15th 2025 presidential elections. Incumbent Museveni touched Isingiro district grounds at midday.
We ask you to grant good leadership to His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. All these years, continue to be with us to the glory of your name.
Museveni is campaigning in Ankole sub-region until next week with a bold message to the electorates to vote for the NRM yellow bus.
We thank you as you start this journey in Isingiro.
The NRM chairperson in Isingiro district assured incumbent President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of full support and victory from the party and people of Isingiro district. In Isingiro, the party chairman was accompanied by members of the NRM conclave led by the Speaker of Parliament, Anton Tamon.
Allow me again, as the boss of the Western, to welcome you once again in your beautiful scenery, your beautiful home. Everybody is waiting for you to really show the love.
The people of Isingiro, we want to thank you so much for loving NRM. I can assure you, Your Excellency, we do not have audit queries in Isingiro.
President Museveni's opening remarks centered on protecting the gains that have been achieved over the years.
Nganda humu Isingiro nyembundu janjuna ibiri karabaha nyembundu janjuna muundana arabaha nyembundu kinani netani na arabaha nyembundu.
Museveni also assured the NRM supporters in Isingiro district of total consolidation of peace and stability for sustainable development moving forward into the future.
Nabaje rhanga ukubanza abusinge ubutuni hati kandi musile NRM abukuleta itafari ryo ekartari Uganda ukuleta businge.
According to Museveni, with the exploration of Uganda's oil, sectors like education, health and infrastructure will continue to thrive.
Twagira amashitago okukora imirimo eturi gukora bigoroba kuba twari izisente zo kurengera itege yakabingo
With the strides made in education, health, infrastructure, security and economy, President Museveni wants voters to entrust their 15th January 2025 votes with the NRM party. In response to tackle the unemployment problem, President Museveni has pledged to establish an industrial park in Ankole sub-region.
Industrial park,
Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Now, taking a look at government's service delivery in Isingiro district, significant investment has gone into livelihoods, education, health and water. Yet nearly half of its 901 villages still lack safe water. Now, we give you a review of the funds received, services delivered and the areas still needing urgent attention.
Isingiro district comprises 30 sub-counties and town councils, 131 parishes and 901 villages. According to the 2024 census, the district population stands at 635,077. The district has cumulatively received shillings 47.1 billion, of which shillings 40.68 billion has been disbursed to 41,131 beneficiary households. Under the Emyoga program, Isingiro's 5 constituencies host 89 circles with 31,901 members, receiving a total of shillings 3.35 billion so far. In the education sector, Isingiro has 197 government primary schools and 543 private schools, alongside 21 government secondary schools and 75 private secondary schools. Regarding the presidential industrial hubs, the district benefits from regional skilling hubs where youth are trained in welding, carpentry, construction, tailoring, hairdressing, bakery, confectionery and leather design. About the health sector, of the 30 sub-counties, 4 have health center 4s and 26 have health center 3s. In the water sector, out of 901 villages, 461 have access to safe water, representing 51% coverage.
The presidential candidate for Alliance for National Transformation, General Mugisha Muntu, has rallied support for his presidential bid in Butebo and Budaka districts, drawing large crowds. General Muntu vowed to support the people of Butebo and Budaka with better service delivery once he assumed power as president in the 2026 general elections.
The presidential candidate for Alliance for National Transformation, General Mugisha Muntu, has traversed Budaka and Butebo district, rallying support for his presidential bid. At the Butebo Town Council, residents voiced growing concern over lack of essential services, including poor health infrastructure, failing education system, and deteriorating roads.
The clinics, you know, town. Private.
General Muntu proceeded to Riama Town Council in Budaka district. Farmers reported evictions from the swamp lands, where they previously cultivated rice, resulting in a significant livelihood setbacks. Addressing the residents, General Mugisha promised to Tamaka Palisa Butebo Mbale and Butebo Budaka Road, which have been promised by the government for years. People in the Butebo district depends on agriculture, mainly maize, but lack of market has affected people's livelihoods. He promised to improve infrastructure to boost people's livelihoods.
Wantona wetutambude enguzi oba corruption. Buli department ya government woba ogenza okufuna service y'ekika kyonna nga tolina ssente service eyo tekola ki togifuna.
Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
Ebituukanga
UBC News tonight. The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, has officially launched her campaigns as she seeks another mandate to represent the women of Kakumiro district. Nabanja flagged off her campaigns in Wanswa sub-county and moved from village to village, promising to consolidate the gains the NRM government has achieved in its 40 years in power.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, today embarked on her grassroots campaigns that will lead her back into Parliament to represent the women of Kakumiro. Nabanja is the NRM flag bearer for Kakumiro district, with two other independent candidates in the race.
Yes.
She flagged off her campaigns in Bwanswa sub-county.
Kandi abantu babwaso pino mukisa ekisanja kinu Prime Minister ni watongoleze campaign kijolia.
Nabanja somora. Nabanja wale hudo. Nabanja wale kuzimbira abata kwisobora.
Kusanga abandi batayizire. Mugende mubagambe Prime Minister. Mumazira ka Prime Minister amukusokera ka Museveni. Abakuwagira ka President Boro. Museveni oye. Abawagira Museveni emikono waggulu. Abawagira Nabanja emikono waggulu.
The Premier also visited the bridge which she constructed in 2022 connecting Kakumiro and Mubende, which was washed away by floods, but through her intervention with the community, it was restored.
I want to commend the community because it is because of the community of this place that we are able to prosper. Because we had no cost in terms of labor. Our people, I always remember them for this.
He says it costed about 400 million shillings compared to 16 billion shillings of what the government would have spent on its restoration.
I used the personal resources. I also used some part of my little donations. And this bridge costed us 420 million. If we mobilize our communities, so many things can be done. Because the government would not have done this by now. The engineers wanted 16 billion to construct this bridge, but for us we used only 400 million. So I'm here to remind myself that during this campaign I thought I should start from here and have a look at the efficacy of this bridge now. It is still very strong. Engineers said it can last for over 100 years.
Yatuyamba wano amakubo n'oruguudo dene n'ekitoogo kino ng'alimu kukitereeza just natweraho olutindo twasabika nnyo Prime Minister abeerewo kandi abeerewo era neera abeerewo.
Sooka okwebaza Mukama olw'ekirabo eky'obulamu kyakuwadde naffe kyatuwadde. Nkwebaza olwa omulimu gy'ovudde okulambula gwe waliko otukoledde wano, weebale nnyo weebalire ddala.
Kandi abantu bakiyimbira bakwisungire kandi ne bakusiima na byona biwawakoleye. Olwera tukukwekiranu wa lutindo kandi watukola kulungi waluhikawo lukyali standby.
Nabanja promised the people of Kakumiro that a lot more roads will be constructed and electricity to the areas that do not have power yet.
Abarundi nkusaba ebiro 15 akamuka prime minister akamuseveni tutikingira meza olukukwasa akapapuro kalala basi hansi notikinga nokwongera kubagambira ngo ebizibu byanyu tukubikoraho umuhanda tujja gutereza akuba keto byetandike nokukula nanye mujja kwenda amasanyalazi mukesewe kurora nimukolesa amani ganyu buli muntu atunge ekyakuteeka omunsawo mukole emirimu ekyekwaso kyolutindo tukamuraki ati keto myoye abakuja kumpakarwa emikono haigulu abasigaire bona mubawe zero musaba bakwa museveni akarwa igulu abasigaire bona ki.
A section of members of the East African Legislative Assembly has called for a harmonized and coordinated approach to fishing through the shared water sources across the region. The MPs currently holding IALA sessions in Kampala decry uncoordinated policies and regulations by the respective members affecting the fishing sector. This follows a meeting of the MPs and a section of the fishing community and FIAN Uganda, a civil society organization.
The second regional dialogue on sustainable management of pelvic fish species in East Africa sought to create approaches to achieve a harmonized basis on increasing food security, targeting the fishing community. The session was chaired by Uganda's representative to East African Legislative Assembly, Jacqueline Omoding, and attracted members of Uganda Parliamentary Alliance on Food and Nutrition, Fishing Community, and FIAN Uganda, a civil society organization.
We drafted the private members' bill on food and nutrition, whereby we think that when Parliament passes it, it will address so many issues in terms of budgeting, in terms of reducing malnutrition in the country, and even promoting food and nutrition, food security.
The participants cited uncoordinated policies and regulations by respective East African community member states, which dilutes the environment to fetch silverfish.
But you find that in other countries, like Tanzania and Kenya, the same method is still being used. So if it's stopped or banned in our country and in another country where we share the same water resources being used, how is this interpreted?
Every law provides for different things in gears, even the mesh sizes. You go to Uganda, we are saying we should maybe use 65 millimeters for that net which catches. You go to Tanzania, they want 10. You go to Kenya, they want a different mesh, and it's a big problem.
Despite a call to strengthen the implementation of the existing legal framework, the members of IALA have been advised to consider enacting regional law that will solve the vice.
Establishment and adoption of common regulation for the better management and development of marine parks, reserves.
Uganda currently implements enforcement on the lake through the military, which some stakeholders have objected to over time.
Common man who is fishing for his family and livelihood compete with somebody who is having security. Don't pass laws which are going to help the big investors. Think of the local people.
So we need to harmonize that so that we can use a similar method. We actually at LVFO level had proposed using considering going with the multi-agency approach, which brings, you can bring the military, but you'll have also the community people there.
The members of the IALA side had ships in confronting private member bills, but rather consider approaching the concerns through the Committee on Agriculture to ensure that the matter reaches the Council of Ministers.
We can move a motion before the House, urging the Council of Ministers, working with the partner states to make sure these issues is being included in the fisheries, fishing regulation and the laws.
After all roads lead there, but if it is for the right cause and the instrument has been signed by the different councils of ministers, that's already enough.
IALA is currently holding their sessions in Kampala. Susan Nabugude, Daniel Muguya at Parliament.
Leaders from various government agencies have stressed the need to empower young people to help bridge the information gap at grassroots level. This was during a high-level meeting at the State House Investors Protection Unit focused on strengthening communication of government programs and achievements by public institutions. We have the details.
Hosted by the head of the State House Investors Protection Unit, Colonel Edith Nakalima, the meeting brought together chief executive officers, executive directors, and managers from a range of ministries, departments, and agencies across the health sector, security, intelligence, ICT, among others.
The main focus for this meeting is to discuss our progress, to make assessment on how far we have reached with dispensing your gains, the gains of government institutions to the public.
When the negative reactions come, let it not be kept with you, let it come back to us so that we can see how we give further engagements.
Building on their previous engagement held mid-last month, the leaders assessed progress made under the initiative aimed at improving communication of government achievements and countering misinformation across the country.
We've done industrialization, we've done energy and electricity, we've done PDM and money, URA and standards, UNBS, and then yesterday we did health. Basically what we do on Mondays, we do English, we run it on NBS and UBC, and then on Wednesdays we deal with what we call the mainstream market or the mainstream omuntu wa bulijjo. We run it on BBS Telefina, we run it on Sanyuka, we run it on BBS, on Baba, and then Star, which is under UBC. Most of the people who vote are busy in markets, are busy in offices. We believe at night they are able to consume these gains and they understand what you're talking about.
But again, the idea is now pick up momentum, not just riding into January 15th, but post that. We want this to be a permanent fixture on the communication agenda.
They noted that youth, especially university students, play a critical role and must be strengthened to support the dissemination of accurate government information at the grassroots levels.
So how do we make sure that our next generation, our young people, understand that we actually have gains?
You have that group. Some of them, I don't know whether they are controlled or they are run away. The content they publish. Actually, here at the center you can control, but in the countryside, it's appalling. Somebody begins a conversation without control.
While acknowledging achievements suggested so far, leaders pointed out some existing challenges.
They need resources. But in terms of preparations, in terms of execution, we are ready. But the people who are supposed to make these decisions are busy with the old man on the campaign trail.
How do we keep playing these different messages from different sessions so that we do not forget the first sessions as we move towards the next sessions as if the first are past?
But we could also say, how do we now strategically bring on board those who deal with areas that are very sensitive?
The public has been urged to make effective use of government institutions to access proper service delivery and maintain peace as the 2026 elections draw near.
That assure Ugandans that it's not that we are not, that the absence of tear gas does not mean that the security is not present. No, it is present, but it has tried to approach the strategy in a different way of how they ensure that all the candidates are okay.
Rebecca Nantongo, Kenneth Tanaba for UBC News.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories after these messages.
With Momo, you have the power to pay for shopping more easily using your phone. Dial *165*3# or scan to download Momo app and pay for anything. No hassling for change. And even better, if you run out of money while paying, you can simply add core with Momo Advance. That's Momo. That's the power to be more. You see, I've been a painter for almost 4 decades, and I have found Global Paints to be very reliable. First, everyone knows we use Global Paint undercoat. Now, for the best results, I continue with Global Paints products. I go for silk vinyl when it comes to the interior. Then Global Matte for the ceiling, and when it comes to weatherproof, I go for Global Weather Coat Emulsion. With that one, the house will never peel. Now, there you have a sparkling, magical looking house. And then the client is very happy. He recommends me to another person, who recommends me to another person, who recommended me to come and do the advert.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Kabogozi, where are you coming from?
From NSSF.
NSSF? You traveled all the way from Namaguli to get NSSF services. Lekanawe. You walk on the era. NSSF is now everywhere. Come on, I show you. You can register for NSSF. How come you do your smart life? Now deep down in the Marara. Make NSSF payments. No hala okubekalangala. NSSF sure is not far. But tomorrow kuhika gotido. Enjoy NSSF from where you are.
Access NSSF services right where you live. With over 20,000 quick teller agents across Uganda, now you can conveniently register yourself, make NSSF payments and contributions to your Smart Life account to Ubeda. NSSF, a better life.
UEDCL is offering a normalization window until the 31st of December 2025 for those who have illegally connected into power lines or tampered with power metering equipment. Register with UEDCL at www.uedcl.co.ug/wetereze to normalize your connection to avoid penalties or prosecution. Visit any UEDCL office in your area for assistance or call our toll-free numbers at 0800 203 088 or 0800 285 285 and 0800 385 385. Take advantage of this normalization window before the law catches up with you. UEDCL, lighting up your world.
Welcome back from that break, and we're glad you're still with us here in UBC News Tonight. More stories this evening. The assault of a Lira-based journalist has sparked heated debate on media professionalism, election-related violence, and the failure of some candidates to control their supporters during campaigns. The incident occurred recently at a UPC rally in Boke Ward, Lira City. Our reporter Eddie Olwa investigates what went wrong between the journalist, UPC leadership in Lira City and the party supporters. Was it a political witch hunt or a case of exercising embedded journalism that nearly cost him his life? Take a look.
The social media footage shows Unity FM journalist Bobo Yuhu being assaulted by a group believed to be UPC supporters as he tried to flee the rally grounds in Bohe Ward. He was covering Betty Amongi, a candidate for the Lira City Woman MP race.
I pleaded with them to allow me do my part and leave. They couldn't. They were chanting, he should be killed because they are plotting against UPC.
Oyuhu says the attack began abruptly after a group of UPC supporters accused him of distributing NRM t-shirts and money, an allegation he dismisses as false. Within moments, nearly 150 people surrounded him, punching and kicking him as he tried to retreat.
I was humiliated. My family are not okay. My children are traumatized. When they look at the video of their dad being beaten in public.
UPC officials in Lira City have distanced the party from the attack. Publicist Fred Minyang insists the party never planned or sanctioned the violence, noting that the journalist was not accredited to cover the event and the party was unaware of his presence.
It also shocked us that Bobo Yugojok was among the journalists, but we were not aware that he was around. So that makes it clear that what happened to him as party we were not aware. And I believe none of us touched him. Maybe this is a concocted story from the camp that is representing, just trying to what? to spoil the name and reputation of Honorable Betty, which is not okay. But I also want to assure the public that Honorable Betty is going to lead.
We have been able to use that video to identify some of the individuals who...
North Kyoga police condemned the violence. PRO Patrick Jimokema says suspects have been identified and arrests are expected.
So next is picking them. Once again, appeal to members of the public to always desist from acts of violence. During the process of involvement, you are there as a group. But the moment you are singled out as an individual, it becomes a very big thing. You will carry your own cross.
Just boycott them, don't listen to their radio. If it's a newspaper, don't read it. If it's a TV, don't watch it. Yes, but don't beat.
The 20th November attack has triggered difficult conversations in Langwa about violence, media freedom, professionalism, and the failure of some candidates to control their supporters.
Condemning that brutal act.
A group of journalists led by Hudson Apunyo says such attacks are becoming frequent, warning that reporters are now being lined up for beatings.
All these cases were documented, but it's also sad to note that no serious disciplinary action have ever been taken on these people.
We are going to follow up on this. We already have in it, and we shall follow it up to its logical conclusion.
We have a list of journalists who are now being threatened.
Apunyo has called on human rights defenders, security agencies and electoral commission to intervene urgently. He has also formally raised a matter with the UPC.
The president should prevail over his people.
A recent conflict analysis report flagged Lira City as a potential hotspot for election violence, largely due to the high-stakes race between two powerful ministers, UPC's Beta Mongi and Health Minister Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng, a concern discussed at the Let's Talk Peace Dialogue convened by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy.
Practice the total aspect of professionalism.
Veteran journalist Francis Ogema warns that while violence must be condemned, reporters must remain professional, impartial and aware of risk during heated campaigns.
They are what we call red lines. Once you're beaten, you know that you've already gone beyond their red lines. They also have their red lines. Yes, they're the ones going to vote, not you. So once you are trying to use your media house or your profession to coerce them to support what they don't want, they may be right to beat you up. But I'm saying it is wrong. I would condemn it in the totality.
Ogema adds that such attacks risk creating a precedent where journalists fear covering political events, undermining public trust in the electoral process.
So that means now each politician will have to carry his or her.
Eddie Ulwa, UBC News.
Thank you, Eddie Ulwa, for that report. In more news this evening, young people have fronted job creation, security and improvement in social services as some of the key areas of basis for voting for a presidential candidate in the coming general elections. In an interview with UBC, youth, especially those preparing to vote for the first time, highlighted unemployment as one of the serious challenges facing young people.
Uganda Bureau of Statistics National Population and Housing Census exercise that was conducted in May 2024 indicated that Uganda has a population of over 45 million people, and out of these, those aged 18 to 30 are 14 million, making up 31% of the total population. This young population is key in influencing the outcomes of the general elections as the country prepares to go to polls in January 2025. UBC TV engaged with young people, especially those preparing to vote for the first time, to share some of the key elements they would consider to vote for a presidential candidate.
I'm voting for the president. The things I look at is the manifesto. For example, as a youth, I look at the manifesto, what says, what's the president aiming to do for the youths. For example, for the youths, the issue is the jobs. We are not having jobs as a youth, so we would look at what are you planning to do for us? Are you trying to create some jobs, or you're just aiming at doing other things? For example, other presidential candidates are aiming at creating some job opportunities for the youths.
We are in a political season when we are looking out for the right presidential candidate who is going to take us to the next level of this country. Personally, when I'm looking for the president to vote, I'm going to consider the manifesto that he has aligned forth for his term of office as a president. As a country, we have challenges in the health sector, in the education sector, in the economic sector, whereby students are not having sponsorships for different levels of academia.
Others pointed out provision of social services and security as key issues that they would consider to vote for any presidential candidate.
Ngenda ndonda muzeyi ensonga lwaki mulonda nkera ku machane nya sente zange mbewaka ngangamba ngeze kufuna emitwalo ba munana n'eginonya n'egifuna naye agenda okujja yena ayinza okujja n'enkera ku macha sente n'ezimbula ensonga lwaki ngenda kuleka ngenda kwongera muzeyi akalulu sigenda mubaako ky'amazima
nondo omuntu anasobola okukola enguudo paka ewange lwaki nakuva ewange nesimateze bulungi oke mu Kampala wano maze nafaana bubi kasitoma java mu kizimbe apite.
Youth are critical in influencing the electoral agenda in the coming general elections due to their demographic weight as they form the majority of the population.
The Permanent Secretary in the Office of the President, Haji Yunus Kakande, has directed resident district commissioners, DSOs, and other security leaders from Bukedi and Sebei sub-regions to intensify the monitoring of government projects and strengthen the fight against corruption. The call was made during the opening of a 4-day capacity building workshop aimed at improving service delivery and safeguarding national development initiatives.
The Permanent Secretary, Office of the President, Haji Kakande, has reminded resident district commissioners, DSOs, and other security leaders from Bukedi and Sebei sub-regions to continue rolling out development programs intended to uplift communities and move the country towards its target of middle-income status by 2030. He emphasized that these projects can only deliver results if they are protected from corruption and mismanagement.
The government of Uganda has made substantial investments in driving economic development, and your role is to ensure that public funds are utilized appropriately and safeguarded against abuse, that projects are delivered on time and meet the required quality standards, that corruption and negligence and misuse of government resources are detected and exposed and prevented, and the citizens receive the services.
Kakande also highlighted the need for enhanced vigilance as the country heads towards the 2026 general elections. He urged RDCs and DSOs and security committees to ensure that citizens remain safe, free from intimidation, and able to participate peacefully in the electoral process.
Ensure peaceful campaigns, non-violent political environment, protection of government properties and development achievements, prevention of intimidation, chaos or misinformation. Work out with your security people and make sure that there is no insecurity, there is no intimidation.
He further encouraged RDCs to make use of allocated government airtime on local radio stations to educate and mobilize communities on the importance of participating in the upcoming elections.
You help in these remaining few weeks for the election to carry out that civic education, telling the people the importance of voting. Why should they vote?
The onus is on us to go and mobilize our people, to sensitize our people about the benefits of going to make the right choices for our country. This is the only way we are going to see development coming in, because we have elected the right people in offices.
The ongoing workshop is expected to retool the RDCs, DSOs, and other security personnel, ensuring they remain effective in promoting accountability, safeguarding government programs, and maintaining security ahead of the 2026 polls.
Sanga nyingiro leba nafa ba MTN wanji MTN walalo MTN gambachi to get the power to win njagalo funelianyi nyo funelianyi okuwangula ogenda kuwangula ota ngenda kubanga bobukade 10 buli wiki wanji ngenda kubanga kwasa obukade 10 buli wiki kusimu ye nyinyi chabonka chimuchoka line ya MTN bana beka buli ogenda okusasula ekintu kyonna ogenda okusasula ndakwese momo obulya buli ogenda okusasula ngwena kyosasula kyonna kozesa momo ozo kwanga ngenda kwewola ka sente kozesa momo wanji ogenda kuinvestinga kozesa momo abo MTN wejamanyi nekwa bukade 10 buli wiki wala kastenyo bimala bwe pala wentandika ngamba kyekiriwo wanji nenkwata ku masimu ngamba halo walirudawa tenze tirinyi halo walirudawa zende guru halo walirudawa ndi mutukula halo oliwa ndi mwanange ndi wano mu office ntode nyiga ma computer nenkuta awa namwe kasitana benesi okuberanga mwana wote koze ebyo namanga epeyinze ebolowinze investinze ngekozesa momo. Remember to dial *165# or use the Momo app to borrow, to pay, to invest, and you could stand a chance to win 10 million weekly.
This is our home, our land, and our Uganda. From the rolling hills to the busy streets, from the farmers in the fields to the students in classrooms, we are one people. Elections are a time to choose our leaders, not to fight our brothers and sisters. When violence enters the ballot box, the future of our country is wounded. But when peace leads the way, our nation grows stronger. On election day, choose unity over diversion, respect over hatred, and dialogue over distraction. Love your country, protect your fellow citizens, stand for peace, and say no to electoral violence. This message is brought to you by the Global Election Observation Mission, GEOM, in partnership with the Uganda Electoral Commission. Informed citizens, strong nation.
The Uganda AIDS Commission, under the Office of the President, presents the National HIV and AIDS Symposium 2025, happening from the 26th to the 28th of November 2025 at Mbarara University of Science and Technology, MUST, main campus at the Pharmacology Grounds. Join researchers, policymakers, health workers, and community leaders as we discuss ending AIDS in Uganda. The guest of honor will be Professor Pauline Byachika-Kibwika, the Vice Chancellor of MUST. Don't miss out on engaging discussions driving progress in the HIV response, innovative sessions, and free HIV testing services. Visit nhas.usc.go.ug for more information. Let's make it happen. #EndAIDS2030UG.
Life Prayer Center and Church in Mombasa, Kenya welcomes you to the end of the year conference by seeking the face of God for 12 days. Come and receive your miracles, healings, and signs. You will meet the servant of God, Pastor Ezekiel, face to face to give you the word of prophecy for your life towards 2026. How have you prepared yourself spiritually for the year 2026? Then come and meet the great grace of God that will give you new steps and hopes. Are you tortured by witchcraft, spirits, dark altars? Come and Jesus will set you free. From the 3rd to the 14th of December, time is from 8 a.m. in the morning. Come travel with us to Mombasa at affordable rates from Uganda. Call +256 701 277 547 or +256 776 270010. You are all welcome. Keep watching World Evangelism TV.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort, and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels, and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukota Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
The land take for development of Tilenga, Kingfisher and East Africa crude oil pipeline projects in Uganda is approximately 6,900 acres, with close to 10,000 project-affected persons. The compensation process involves an inclusive and participatory resettlement action plan study that provides for cash payment, physical resettlement and livelihood improvement packages for the affected persons. 90% of all the project-affected persons have been fully compensated. 200 replacement houses have been constructed and handed over. Communities are also engaged in vocational skills, agriculture, financial literacy programs, employment, and contracting opportunities to improve their livelihoods and grow community content. The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, creating lasting value in Uganda's oil journey.
Welcome back from that break, and now into the business scene. Uganda is hosting the 48th East African Consultative Meeting on the facilitation of air transport, bringing together over 40 aviation delegates from across the region to strengthen cooperation in passenger and cargo movement and improve service delivery at regional airports.
This regional meeting has attracted aviation officials from East African partner states to discuss ways of improving passenger experience, boosting cargo handling, and deepening regional integration. Speaking shortly after the official opening, the Minister of Works and Transport, General Edward Katumba Wamala, said cooperation under the East African community must go beyond politics to include aviation and trade facilitation.
We share the good practices, but we also point out the weak areas. We will take this such kind of a conference and interaction to point out the weak areas and say, no, here you should have, it is better if it was done this way, because we need to have a seamless and comfortable travel for our passengers within the region.
General Katumba noted that several countries, including Rwanda, Tanzania and Kenya, are expanding their airports in preparation for the rising passenger numbers. Uganda, he said, is also positioning itself to benefit from the regional aviation growth.
Like what we are now trying to promote, that a tourist can fly from Masai Mara in Kenya. If he wants to go to Kidepo, he can fly directly to Kidepo without necessarily coming through Entebbe, because then you reduce on time of travel, because we have these high-end tourists who want to come in, jet in, look at the animal and go away.
Meanwhile, the Uganda Civil Aviation Authority says passenger traffic at Entebbe International Airport is steadily rising, with projections of up to 3.5 million passengers in the near future.
That means we need the passengers to have one of the best experiences when they arrive in Entebbe International Airport. And when we talk about passenger experience, we are talking about the entire cycle of processes. If you go to immigration, Uganda Revenue Authority, you go to the cargo, you go to the whole process from the time of arrival to the time of exiting Entebbe International Airport. We are going to manage the time and work towards the time. How much time do you take when you arrive at the airport, and how much does it take you to get out of the airport?
Industry experts say improved airport services will not only boost tourism across East Africa, but also unlock greater trade through faster and more reliable cargo movement.
And with that, our first edition of UBC News Tonight has come to an end, but do join us at 10 o'clock for more stories in our second edition. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto. I'll see you at 10.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight